Welcome back to the Game Smash Podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me is...
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And today, we've got a pretty packed podcast.
There it is!
I got to bring it back eventually. So we got Games with Gold, PlayStation Plus for March. We got Paragon New Heroes, new sort of little trailer. We got Kojima and Del Toro discuss a new project that they might be working on. Street Fighter V breaks EVO's records for most entries in just 4 days. BioWare producer asks if you'd like to play Dragon Age Tactics. Halo 5 Guardians Hammerstorm launch. Arbiter trailer for Killer Instinct. And Tusk tease at end. So let's get into what we played this week. So I played more XCOM 2, obviously. But I played it with like a little bit of a twist. I got into modding. So,
Did you make a mod?
Yeah, I didn't make a mod, but I got into downloading a bunch of mods for the game.
Oh, okay.
But it's still like, because the thing that I kind of like about this, which it's gonna be very interesting when the DLC for this game does come out, is that a lot of the DLC is already like stuff that's being released as mod material for free. So. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Like for example, like there was one mod that's adding a lot of like customization options that are really good. Like obviously there's the stupid ones that are like, you know, the corgi gun and stuff like that. But there's some that actually fit, like ski masks and stuff like that. Actually fit really well aesthetically. And obviously, I've talked about the Long War mod for XCOM 1, XCOM Enemy Within. They flat out got early access to the game to start creating mods for the game. So they've added like new weapons, like the SMG. They've added a new enemy type, which is the Muton Centurion. That shows up at a certain point in the game, and it's just like there's a whole lot of mod support for the game, and it's just gonna make the game so much better down the line because there's just gonna be so much stuff you can do. I mean, the goofiest one I did is I downloaded the Star Wars trooper helmets right away because I had to, because they had a good selection of all the stormtroopers, even the ones from the new movies too, which I thought was great.
Okay.
And the other game I played, I downloaded Firewatch, which we'd seen a while ago. Because I'd been itching to play it because I was really interested in it. And first thing I have to say is that the dialogue in that game is absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Like, it's really well acted because it's mostly it's a game in which you play as like a forest ranger. And your only really communication to anyone is this lady over a walkie-talkie.
Yeah.
Who's in like a separate tower. And the whole mechanic of that game is that you can kind of choose whether or not you want to reply to her or not.
Okay.
And it affects sort of like the relationship you have with this character. And it's very interesting, and the game goes in some really interesting directions that I didn't really expect. Like, it was actually surprising me relatively most of the time. But the thing that I will say this, though, is that I played it, I enjoyed it a lot. I beat it in maybe about 4 hours.
Oh my god.
So, but that being said, I don't really think it's worth $20 because I was searching every nook and cranny, because when you find sort of hidden things in the little like forest area, you have options to talk to your friend over the walkie-talkie more. So that's how I sort of like I got the game to last that long. If you were like flat out just speed running the game, you could probably finish it in maybe 3 hours or so.
Are you kidding? $20 for 3 hours. I get better value for money from a hooker.
All right, Fawaz, calm down there. We don't need to know about your nightlife, all right?
That got a little too real. Sorry, I take that back. Imagine I didn't say anything.
But I still enjoyed the game. I just think it was a little bit overpriced. I still think that this is definitely a game that if it's on sale, or if you see it like on a reduced price, you should definitely pick it up, because it was total. I think it was really worth it just for that talking mechanic alone.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I played this week. What about you, Fawaz?
Okay, to go from a game with like no value for money, I will talk about a game with all the value for money.
All right.
I finally finished The Witcher 3.
Hey!
It felt like it took me a year, but yeah, it was really good. Honestly, I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. I still stand by what I said. There was some padding. There was definitely some padding, and like I said, this isn't Firewatch. The game did not need to be padded. It was still it'd still be a solid 40 or 50 hours even without padding. And then there's New Game Plus on top of all that, right?
Right.
So yeah, but no, man, like top-notch game. Absolutely, really impressed. A couple of things. Like you said with Firewatch, the dialogue in The Witcher 3 is amazing. There were so many times where I just found myself dying of laughter during conversations because like the dialogue was just, and it just felt natural. And one thing that really, really helps it is the fact that Geralt, apparently the Witcher transformations take away your emotions. So Geralt is very monotone in the way he says stuff, but then he'll say something like really sarcastic in this monotone voice, or he'll say something really like he's really excited right now, but he's completely monotone when he says it. Yeah. One other source of humor is the fact that Geralt is apparently considered a very attractive guy, right?
Which I find hilarious.
So like characters, male and female, are always poking fun at that. Like there's just one, because there's like a love triangle type thing between him, Yennefer, and Triss.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and then there's this one character that you're talking to, and she's like, I don't think you guys realize how awkward that whole situation with you guys is, because think about it this way, right? Geralt, and she's like, Geralt, you look at Ciri as your daughter, right?
Okay.
Ciri looks at Triss as an older sister. Triss is trying to get in bed with you at every possible opportunity, and then there's Yennefer, who is the mother. So it's
that's wow. When you put it out like that, things get awkward fast.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, well, when you put it that way. But yeah, overall, man, it was a really good game. I kind of screwed myself over with the ending, though. So funny story, Tanner. I remember a couple podcasts ago when I was like, I made this one decision that I was 100% sure was a mistake. So I loaded an old save and I undid that decision.
Right.
Okay, so I did not get the ending that I wanted because of that decision.
Oh, so you actually fucked it up worse.
Yeah.
Like that is amazing.
That is ironic. Yeah, then I finished the game, and the ending I got wasn't bad. Like it's there's 3 main endings. There's quote unquote 36 endings, but this is how it goes, right? There's 3 cutscenes. There's 3 different cutscenes that you can see at the end of the game.
By the way, before we go on, spoiler warning.
No, I'm not gonna say the cutscenes. Don't worry. Don't worry. Come on, I'm not an idiot. There's 3 major cutscenes that you see at the end of the game, and they're completely different. So no Mass Effect 3 shit here. They're like completely different endings. Now, one ending is terrible. Like I watched the ending, and after I finished the game, I watched the ending, and it made me feel horrible. And this wasn't even my ending. It is a depressing ending. Yeah. So there's that, right? Then I got the bittersweet ending, and then there's the quote unquote perfect ending. Now, between the bittersweet ending and the perfect ending, you could make a case for either or being the good ending, but they're both, solid endings. Yeah. However, I wanted the good ending. And because of that decision I made, I got the bittersweet ending. So if I had just stuck with my original decision, I would have gotten the ending I wanted, which brings me to one thing that I really love about this game. You can never predict the effects that your decisions will have. Because it's not obvious stuff. Like a game like, and I feel like I'm shitting on Mass Effect a lot here, but whatever, I'll just continue. A game like Mass Effect, to be like, okay, are you going to save Aiden, or are you going to save whatever her name is, right? That's the decision it'll give you. But The Witcher will be like, okay, do you want waffles for breakfast or do you want pancakes? Oh, you had pancakes? Well, everybody dies as a result of that.
No, I know what you mean by that. And I also kind of like how you're telling me how it's like you could argue like both which is the more better ending, the bittersweet one or the perfect ending.
Yeah.
Because that makes me think of like how when there's an example. It's like when I was playing BioShock 2. I absolutely loved the neutral ending of that game, and I thought it was way better than the perfect ending because I felt the perfect ending was too happy for such a dark that kind of game. So I really loved the neutral ending because it felt actually more appropriate than the perfect ending.
Yeah, I liked the ending to an extent. It made me sad because it was bittersweet, and it's difficult talking about this without spoiling anything. But don't worry, I won't spoil it. But yeah, overall, man, I could go on forever. I really enjoyed that game. I cannot state that enough, and I'm waiting for the second DLC to come out, and then I'll buy both DLCs and I'll come back. So I'm going to take a break from the game for a little while. Whenever they release the second DLC, I'll buy both of them and then I'll hop into them. Because I don't want to play the first DLC, then take a break, then come back God knows how long. Because
you rather just take a break and then just marathon the DLC.
Yeah. So I can't wait for the DLC. And it's funny, I don't know if you remember, like, a long time ago, I was shitting on them for announcing Cyberpunk 2077 in 2013 and then not talking about the game at all for 3 years. I'm still disappointed that they did that, but honestly, if Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be as good as The Witcher 3, they can release the game in 2077 for all I care. The Witcher 3, I really enjoyed it.
If they released it in 2077 for Waz, I'm pretty sure both you and me would be dead.
Well, don't bring logic into this, okay?
Logic in video games. That's just...
Yeah, what's the matter with you? But I know overall, man, shout out to CD Projekt Red. They are a top-notch development studio, and I am looking forward to giving them more of my money. Yeah.
Well, good to know. All right, let's get into some news. So we got Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus. So the Games with Gold for March are announced as Lords of the Fallen and Crimes and Punishment for the Xbox One, and Supreme Commander 2 and Borderlands for the 360.
Borderlands, okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, and overall, I'm like, okay, that's pretty good, Honestly, I think at this point, you could probably get Borderlands for, like, $5-10.
Yeah.
Like, the first one, like, pretty cheap.
Mm-hmm. One thing of note, though, sorry for cutting you off, Borderlands and Supreme Commander are both backwards compatible, so there is that. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, I'm actually curious I know that they're both backwards compatible, but does that mean that you could technically... I don't think you could technically download Borderlands to your Xbox One with this in particular. At least
I mean, on the poster it says plays on Xbox One. So
okay. So you could theoretically just down. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, I do like that a lot. I've heard good things about Lords of the Fallen. It's supposed to be kind of Dark Souls-esque.
Yeah.
But the other two games I don't really know about. But I think overall that's a pretty good list of games.
Yeah, much better than the other list we're going to get to. So we got Broforce, Flame Over, Galak Z. You see what they did there?
I like what they did there.
I still do like what they did there. The Last Guy, Galaxy Fighters, and Super Stardust HD. Sony, what the hell? Seriously.
Broforce, though.
Sorry, what?
About Broforce.
Yeah, Broforce. I'm actually excited for Broforce.
I'm actually really excited for Broforce. Honestly, though, this is just sort of like I get it. It's just this is sort of like we're either gonna get, really solid months, or we're gonna get kind of just meh, because these are just a lot of indie games.
That's pretty much what it's
become. And I feel like this is pretty much what Sony is going to do, and pretty much going to do for a really long time, until eventually people start complaining loud enough for more bigger titles.
Have you looked at the YouTube video for the PlayStation Plus list?
Oh, it's just the same. It's just the same thing over and over again.
No, like, no. The dislike bar on the YouTube.
But I know that, Fawaz. But the funny thing about this is that it's like nothing is changing. Like it's literally the. I will admit though, I like the fact that there was a little bit of like voting involved for Broforce. I mean, obviously Broforce was the one that should won and was going to win, and I'm glad it won. But it's just sort of like, like it's just a bunch of indie games, and I don't want to shit on all these indie games, like, but it's just there's nothing that really stands out for me other than Broforce. It's a shame because it's like sometimes I'm like, man, like even though some of the games aren't great that the Xbox One gets, like I think Thief was available for free a couple months ago or something like that. They're bigger games, like they're more higher end games on their lists.
Yeah, I mean they got Assassin's Creed Black Flag, they got Thief, but we got Thief as well. I think at least they got Lords of the Fallen, but for me it's just honestly, real talk. If they hadn't automatically renewed my PlayStation Plus subscription, I would not have renewed it. Because here's the thing, I barely even play online with PlayStation Plus, right? I mean, hopefully that's going to change this year.
Yeah.
But look at the games I'm excited for this year: Persona 5, Valkyria Chronicles. It's a bunch of single player games, Sure, there's Street Fighter 5, but don't even get me started on Street Fighter 5.
Well, I mean, like eventually, like I want to be able to play against you online at some point. Like I want to play a match against you. Is that too much to ask?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could play sometime, but no, like honestly, if they hadn't automatically renewed my PlayStation Plus, I would have canceled it. I would not have renewed it myself because it's like I can't remember the last time I downloaded. I mean, I'm gonna download Broforce. But like, and I'm gonna give Broforce a chance. But Broforce will be the first PlayStation Plus game that I'm going to at least try to like since Super Time Force Ultra, which I didn't even finish. And it might, if I end up enjoying it, it will be the first PlayStation Plus game I finish since Guacamelee. It's ridiculous, It's like, okay, you know what? No one is asking for Street Fighter 5 and Dark Souls 3 to be free. But are you kidding me? What about Assassin's Creed Black Flag? What about Infamous Second Son? What about like Call of Duty Ghost, for God's sake? Like it's like they've just stopped trying. And you know what? This podcast is I don't want, like, we've still got a lot of stuff to talk about, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Yeah. But for real, man, my only regret is that I did not switch up automatic renewal. A mistake I will not make a second year in a row. So that right there. You know what? At the end of the day, they're not gonna change this until they see a change in their finances. So yeah, man, if by the end of this year they're still pulling this shit, I'm just gonna cancel my PlayStation Plus subscription. And you know what? Like you have to vote with your wallet, as they say, right? So yeah.
Well, yeah, because I don't know. I mean, like I'm sure eventually, like this is probably going to continue for a while. But the problem with this particular list, at least for me, before we just move on, is that because a lot of these are indie games, it's like there's less overall like appeal because like indie games are very specific in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
So if you don't have that, if you're not interested in that specific thing, then you're kind of bummed out. At least for this month, anyway. But let's move on to our next piece of news. We got Paragon shows off a bunch of new heroes: Sparrow, Gideon, Decker, and Grux. And they had a kind of cool, like, trailer. I really liked Gideon's teleport mechanic where he opens like rifts, and that I could see some really cool mechanics with that. I don't know who did it, but somebody had an ability who could trap like players in like a circle.
Yeah. I think that was Decker.
That was Decker. I like that a lot. I think that's also really cool. It's funny because it's like a lot of these are very MOBA-esque abilities. Like these are.
It's a MOBA.
I know it's a MOBA. But it's funny for me to see them. From a, because whenever I think MOBA, I always think League of Legends, right? I always think from that perspective. So it's weird. It's kind of like, it's weird to see MOBA abilities from a different perspective.
Okay, I feel you.
Yeah, I don't know. I find that kind of interesting. Yeah. I was a little bit confused as to who was using what ability. I mean, because there's a lot. I mean, like, it wasn't that bad. because they did actually label like, all right, this is who's using the ability and whatnot, but it was a lot to take in.
Like, it was a lot. You have to watch the trailer a couple of times to really catch all of it. So I will give you that. But no, personally, I quite liked it because they they labeled the abilities. They're like Gideon, Cosmic Rift, and then you see him Torn Space, and then you see him put the teleporter. It was like for example, the first time I watched the trailer, I saw the little containment field come up, and I was like, I didn't. Who did that? And then I rewound the video and was like, oh, okay, cool. Decker is the character that made that, and then it has it focuses on the character right before they do it, so you can tell who did what and stuff, and I appreciated that. Overall, I'm really excited for this game. One thing, because another game that's it's because for a while this was looking like the PlayStation 4's MOBA, because it's the only MOBA on the PS4 right now, until like the Smite people they just announced recently that Smite was coming out on the PS4 as well. You can actually sign up for the alpha right now, Tanner, if you want to give it a shot.
Okay, maybe
I got into the alpha. Me and Jason were playing it a little bit. The game is fun. The one issue that I do have is the speed. Well, two issues. One is the game looks like shit. And this game looks so much better. Paragon?
Yeah, Paragon looks overall better to me than Smite, which is why I'm a lot more interested in Paragon than Smite.
Yeah,
in a lot of ways.
Smite looks like shit. Like I'm playing the game.
Well, I mean, it's an older game. Like,
this is true.
Like it kind of makes sense, and I guess I can't.
And this is Epic too, so
and Epic, they have really good designs overall.
They have very good. That's one thing you cannot hate on Epic for. But the other thing about Smite that I did not like was the speed. That game is slow. Oh my god, maybe that's a MOBA thing because it's the first MOBA I've ever played.
MOBAs can be slow from time to time. Honestly, MOBA, usually the pace of a MOBA is that it gets really, really fast paced when you're in battles, and anytime that you're not in a battle, it's usually a lot slower. Especially I use League of Legends as my example, right?
Okay.
And there's usually a lot of downtime in the sense where it's like, sometimes it's going to be you camping near the turret trying to get experience. Or if somebody leaves your lane and just fucks off to someone else's, then you've basically got the lane to yourself. And then it gets a lot more slower, but it's usually when the team fights happen that it gets really intense, and every single ability that gets used actually matters.
No, I meant slow in terms of movement speed.
Oh, you mean just actual movement?
Yeah, because I picked this character Athena, and her ultimate is she can just teleport to wherever another character is. And one of the reasons why I liked that was because of that. Because I would die. Like, what would happen is I'd die, and then I'm like, oh my god, it's going to take me 2 minutes to get back. I mean, first of all, I think the higher your level is, the longer it takes for you to respawn.
Yes.
So first of all, you're waiting a minute to respawn.
That's that's a MOBA thing. League of Legends does that as well.
Yeah, and I think the original Dota did it too. In fact, what my friend used to tell me was that a lot of times if you get to the later levels, if you die, just quit, because it's gonna take you so long to come back, it doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would respawn, and I'm like, oh my god, now I gotta start jogging to where these people are. Granted, I was playing a tank, so there is that too. But yeah, I just activate her ultimate. I'm like, I don't even care if this is the right time to use it. I really don't feel like walking the whole way. So yeah, that
I get to the battle now.
Yeah, that game could really use a dash button. So this game looks a little faster, but then again, I'm watching gameplay of the game. I'm not actually playing it. That's one thing that really got me though with Smite, was that the movement was really slow. But you know what? The game is free to play, so I'm definitely gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna keep playing it.
You literally have nothing to lose.
If I get more into the game as time goes by. I'm talking about Smite here, but I've also applied for the Paragon Alpha, so hopefully I get into this and I can give that a shot. They're both free to play, so I really lose nothing. Just even if I just hopping every now and then, because Jason loves that game. Oh my god. Like, he loves that game. So, even if he's just hopping in every now and then just to play a couple games with Jason and help him out.
That's usually what I am with League of Legends, is that, like, Alex really likes League of Legends, and he's usually on the top with, like, what's the current build, and what's the...
You actually sounded like him.
It's like he's in the room with us right now. But yeah, no, he knows a lot about the mechanics. He knows about it more than I do, and I drive him insane when I have very particular things I like to do when playing, and he's like, "That's not optimal. Stop doing it like that." And I'm like, I'm just having fun, you know. But moving on, our next little piece of news. So there's been a discussion for a while about how Kojima might be working with Del Toro and possibly Norman Reedus on a new project, because Kojima recently has partnered up with Sony and has his own like little Kojima Productions thing going on now. So this is really interesting to me, because it's like, it's almost as if, like, man, we had this really cool project, Silent Hills, and it all just kind of went to shit. But you know what? Let's try and get the same people and try something new. Let's try a whole new project.
Yeah.
And I find that really interesting. I'm really excited for this game. But a lot of people also said that it's going to be very interesting because, as evil and shitty as Konami was with Kojima near the end, Kojima got a lot of money from Konami, and that's a lot of money went towards his game. So it's going to be interesting because now the biggest fear from a lot of interviews with Kojima is like, I need to make a big game. Like, I can't go from Metal Gear to something smaller. Like, he feels like that's a big problem, is because everyone's thinking like, okay, you're going to make another Metal Gear, like a Metal Gear level game, right? And it's almost as if it's like, well, I can't make something super small because it's just not gonna be what people are expecting from him, which I find interesting. Like, these are more his words, but I find that really interesting. Honestly, I'm just happy to hear that he seems to weirdly be getting all the Silent Hills people back together and working on something new. I don't think it's gonna be another horror game, but I hope that there are some elements, because I think my favorite new element that a lot of games have started to do lately is addressing the player as a participant, and sort of breaking the fourth wall.
Oh, okay.
I really am starting to like that a lot. I know Earthbound did that. Undertale did that really, really well. But I'm excited for it overall.
Yeah, one thing I really liked was, because I didn't read all these articles, because I'm like, oh, okay, no gameplay footage. I had no read. But one thing I did like was that he mentioned he wasn't going to do anything. He wanted to move forward, because what's his name? Keiji Inafune. He leaves Capcom and he does Mighty Number 9, which is pretty much Mega Man. What's this dude's name? Leaves Konami and he does
Bloodstain.
He does Bloodstain, which is pretty much just Castlevania.
Yeah.
These dudes leave Rare. They do Yooka-Laylee, which is literally Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
But he's like, okay, I'm going to leave Konami, but I want to do something different. It's not going to be another Silent Hill. It's not going to be another Metal Gear. It's going to be something different. Mm-hmm. And I like that, because I feel like Kojima is a very, very talented guy. Mm-hmm. But he has been pigeonholed into... Because, I mean, like, we know him for 3 games.
Yeah.
Zone of Enders, Metal Gear, and Silent Hill. And I feel like he's better. I feel like this would give us a chance to see what else can Hideo Kojima do. You know, what are the is he just the Silent Hills? And Castlevania too, actually. Yeah. But he's been stuck doing those games for a while now. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see him spread his wings and try something completely different.
Exactly. Especially when you hear he didn't really want to make Metal Gear Solid 4 or even 5. He wanted to end it at 3.
Really?
Yeah, like 3. Huh. He wrote the Metal Gear games as a trilogy. Okay. Which sounds a little bit insane when you think that, but this game is a franchise, and I'm like, yeah, I know.
But then Sons of Liberty ended on a cliffhanger.
Well, that was just from many interviews. That's just how he wrote it that way. Is that the 3 was meant to be sort of like the end, and he sort of left. He wanted things to be kind of left open, and then near the end, Konami won. No, we need more Metal Gears, and that's how 5 came along, Guns of the Patriots and all that stuff. I just find it interesting. I find it interesting that, and I think that's part of the reason maybe why he only wanted a trilogy is because he probably wanted to leave Metal Gear and try something different a lot sooner than he got to. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now hopefully he doesn't Destiny us, because that's what Bungie did. Yeah. They wanted to leave Halo and try something different, and we got Destiny. So hopefully that is not.
Hopefully that's not what we're gonna get. But speaking of big surprises, Street Fighter V breaks Evo's most entries record in just 4 days, which I think is pretty crazy. But I think because I'll let you take this actually.
Okay. When you think about it critically, you actually brought up a very good point. When you think about this critically, it's not that surprising because Street Fighter V is a very good fighting game. From a competitive point of view, Street Fighter V is a very well-made fighting game. It flows really well, and it's a lot of fun. I played a little bit against Jason a couple of days ago, and I did have fun. The issue with Street Fighter V is everything else. Everything that is not just the 1v1 fighting is so lacks polish and is buggy as shit and just annoying. And but then the competitive gamers don't care about that part. The training mode is functional to an extent, and the versus mode is functional. So that's really all that matters to the average competitive gamer. So I guess it doesn't really surprise me that, and this is the first big. Street Fighter V is the father of... Street Fighter is the big name in fighting games. And this is the first big Street Fighter since 2008. So this... And, the competitive scene has grown since 2008. I wasn't even a part of the competitive scene in 2008. So, this makes perfect sense when you think about... Okay, actually, this is the previous record was 2010. So, But still, the scene has grown since 2010. And so this isn't that big of a surprise. It's still... it still rubs me the wrong way because I'm like, this game should not be experiencing success in its current state. It just shouldn't. It pisses so many things. I actually just went on a rant a few minutes before we started doing this podcast. Do you know, Tanner? You know how you have to unlock? You have to beat survival mode to unlock costumes for your character, right?
Oh no, I know. Well, costumes, quote unquote, is
color. You have to beat survival.
No, I know, and I feel like it was designed specifically that way to counterbalance the lack of content of launch, because it is a grind, but that's the thing is that's the only really casual thing you can do in the game.
Oh, I wasn't even done. Do you know, Tanner, that you have to beat it with each costume to unlock the colors for that costume?
Wait, you mean each character?
No. Okay, check this out. Because I created the game with PlayStation Plus so I could get the sexy Chun-Li costume. Big surprise right? So anyway, I beat survival mode with the sexy Chun-Li costume, and I only got an alternate color for that costume. I did not get an alternate color for her actual default costume.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have to beat 90 levels of survival mode twice. To unlock all of Chun-Li's alternate colors.
Did you got the costume? Because I couldn't even download it.
It's just with the game. Did you buy it? Where'd you buy it from?
I pre-ordered it and I got a code. I typed in the code and it said the download has worked, and I never had the option to select the costumes.
Whose costume did you get?
I didn't get any of them.
Where did you pre-order it from?
EB Games.
EB Games. So you should have reuse. So just check reuse.
Oh, okay then. Oh, so it was different depending on.
It's different depending on who you pre-order.
Okay, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, EB Games gives you Ryu, PlayStation Plus, PlayStation. For God's sake, the PlayStation Store gives you Chun-Li. I think Amazon gives you Bison, and one other place gives you Cammy. I can't remember.
God damn it! I should have. I feel stupid now.
Yeah, I pre-ordered with EB Games.
I didn't actually realize that. Well, anyway, you can.
Yeah.
I'm glad that's recorded. Me being an idiot.
Yeah, I pre-ordered with EB Games, realized my mistake, went in, canceled my pre-order, and then pre-ordered with the PlayStation Store.
To be fair, though, I actually do kind of like Ryu's alternate costume.
His alternate costume is so nice, but I'm like,
I'm not really a Ryu player, so I'm not really an anyone player. I'm a Birdie player, apparently. This is the only guy.
And I mean, plus, if it's a choice between sexy Chun-Li, Battle Cammy, and sexy Ryu, I'm sorry,
sexy Ryu. Hey, listen. You know, some people really want sexy Ryu. You know?
Hey, and more power to them. But you give me a choice between buff Ryu and that Chun-Li costume. I'm sorry, B, but that Chun-Li costume is winning 10, 11 times out of 10.
Yeah. That basically should have been like printed for Fawaz.
And the Cammy costume is really cool. And of the 4 costumes, Ryu was the one that the Ryu costume is really nice, but of the 4 costumes, Ryu's costume was the one that I wanted least, and by far. Because even the Bison costume, I prefer it over the Ryu costume. Yeah. So there is that. But complete digression. Street Fighter V breaks even record for most entrants. Whoop whoop! Congratulations to Capcom.
Yeah.
You know, you deserve all this success. Yeah. No sarcasm.
No sarcasm there. Well, yeah.
Moving from something that left a very bitter taste in my mouth to a really positive bit of news, though. BioWare recently had a poll that asked if we would like to see a tactics version of Dragon Age down the line. To which I reply a resounding yes. Please.
Oh and basically what we mean by that is like an XCOM-esque, Fire Emblem-esque Dragon Age. And honestly, yes, I am super addicted to this type of gameplay. Like, this type of, this kind of stuff. And honestly, if I wanted to be honest, I think it'd be a good change of pace for Dragon Age in particular. Because I know you beat Dragon Age Inquisition and you lent it to me, right?
Yeah.
And me and Lobster Monk, actually, we both had kind of the same reaction to it, which I don't think you had, but we had. It says just we felt just kind of bored by the gameplay. Like, I was fine with like the story that I got from what little I played, but I found the gameplay kind of just boring and just it lacked something, and it just didn't really intrigue me that much.
The game is padded.
Yeah, and it is padded to all hell from what I can tell and from like people who have played farther. So I was kind of like, that kind of bummed me out. So I feel like if they did this would help, change the pace of the series and would probably make it really, really good. Like it would because I feel like in a lot of ways Dragon Age makes sense as a SRPG. Like,
yeah. Honestly, on the higher difficulties, you pause the game a lot while you're playing. Like Dragon Age Origins and Inquisition, you spend a lot of time pausing the game and planning out your strategies, because on the high difficulty, shit gets really, really difficult, naturally. Yeah. So this wouldn't even be that big of a change, to be completely honest. But yeah, man, I love XCOM. I've made no secret of that. So if they wanted to release a Dragon Age that was more like XCOM and Fire Emblem, I'm all for it. Knock yourself out. I say go for it. Honestly, between me and you, though, I'm not a big fan of BioWare as video game developers. I feel like they have really good ideas that they don't implement very well. Because looking at Dragon Age Origins, in my opinion, is probably Dragon Age Origins is my favorite BioWare game.
Fair enough. Mine is Mass Effect 2.
Yeah, I never played Mass Effect 2, but like Mass Effect 1, I think I've ranted about that game on this podcast enough. I've documented how much I hated that game, so I'm not going to get into it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Dragon Age 2, I've heard a lot of bad stuff about it, never played it. And then Dragon Age Inquisition, it's a solid launch game for a console, but you play it and it feels like a launch game for a console.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's padded. You could tell it felt like they were experimenting with an open world game for the first time, that they've never done it before, because it felt very, very rough around the edges. And
because BioWare has never really been known for doing at least open world games, and which sounds hilarious because their RPGs are really, really big, but they're not really open world.
No, they're not.
So
hopefully turn this into a more refined product, and making it more like an XCOM will result in a much better experience overall. Because I feel like Dragon Age Inquisition was trying to do too many things. I feel like they were trying to do way too much with Inquisition. I'm all for this. More power to them.
Absolutely. I'm just excited. I hope this comes true. Next on our list, Halo 5 Guardians Hammerstorm launch. It was a big update. Added a bunch of new modes, new assassinations, new customizable options. Just kind of nice to see the game be supported, obviously after its release and whatnot. And it's free content.
It's all free content. It's a bunch. They brought Griffball back. Which, for those that don't know, was a really cool mode from Halo 3. I think
it got introduced in Halo 3.
It's like a cross. It's like soccer kind of, except with gravity hammers. So that's pretty cool. You pick up the ball and you're trying to score with it, and then everybody has a gravity hammer, and it's just hilarity ensues. So they added that. They also introduced a mode called Assault, and I'm not entirely sure what that is, but it seems like it borrows some elements from Griffball. Then there's a thing in the trailer called Fiesta. I have no idea what that is. I think it might mean
Assault. I think was a callback to an older mode where it's like you basically. One team gets a bomb, and the goal is to try and get that bomb to the enemy base, and it's almost like get the bomb to your enemy's base, and it will blow up in a couple seconds.
Okay.
I think that's basically what Assault is. And the fun part about that is that whoever was carrying the bomb essentially had a melee weapon. Because if you hit someone in the back of the head with the bomb, they just go down in one hit. So that I like,
Yeah. Oh, and then they are bringing back the pistol, Halo 1 pistol, that broken piece of shit. Yeah, it's coming back. For all of you who miss being headshotted while you're in a tank by a pistol. Yeah,
well,
the pistol's
to be
back.
fair, that pistol is as broken as it was. It led to a lot of machinima being actually created.
Touche. I'll give them that. And then they also added a new Warzone. So overall, it's a very, very solid update. Because when you hear a free update, you think of some new colors, maybe some new customization options. But they're actually adding like chunky. They've had a very, very, very good slew of post-launch support for the game, and apparently it's continuing. So props to 343 for not being a bunch of twats, and for continuing their impressive support of this game. You got anything else to say on this?
No, it makes me think like in a lot of ways I preferred the way they handled the DLC for Halo 5 Guardians than Destiny handled its DLC in a lot of ways.
No argument there. Destiny charged you and Halo 5 did not.
Yeah. I mean, they're two different types of games, but in a lot of ways it was just I feel like it was just handled better. Like
it was handled so much better.
Even though my biggest gripe with Halo 5 Guardians is that every person who's told me is that the campaign is way too easy and way too short.
Yeah, a lot of people have complained about the campaign. So, it's not like Halo 5 is without fault. It's not like 343 Industries are God. But, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, you gotta give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time on this podcast shitting on different developers. So whenever I see a developer that does something that impresses me, I, will give them the credit.
It's like, holy shit, Fawaz saying something positive about a developer. What the hell's going on?
But hold on to your hats, because I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say a lot more positive stuff about the next developer. Iron Galaxy just released another trailer for the new character coming to Killer Instinct, the Arbiter. Yeah. Now I'm gonna get the bad out of the way first. I was really disappointed that it was not Keith David voicing the Arbiter.
You know what? I would have been fine if they had just ripped lines from the games. Like, literally just take, like I would have preferred that. It would have been stupid, but I would have preferred that. But, it makes sense, I guess. You want to have custom dialogue and whatnot. So they got a sort of same sounding-ish guy. But
yeah, he sounded kind of similar. It took me a while to realize that it wasn't him. So whoever he is, he did a pretty good job. Keep David's understudy, as I'm going to refer to him from now on. The Arbiter himself, unfortunately, I wasn't able to find any video walkthroughs. $20 says I find one right after we finish recording the podcast. But so I couldn't really go in depth with his gameplay, but just judging from the trailer, he had a cloak, he had a grenade, he had his sword, and he had a carbine rifle. So I'm just going to assume that those things are going to play into, not just because he used most of this stuff in combos as opposed to in neutral. But I'm going to assume that this stuff can be used in neutral, especially the cloak. I'm gonna go on a limb and say he's gonna have a cloaking mechanic.
I actually really liked his the plasma grenade.
Yeah, the plasma grenade, he knocked Tusk down and then he threw it on him. So that for sure is not just a combo filler type move. That can definitely be used in like neutral. So that's pretty cool to see. And I'm just going to assume that he's going to have a weapon switching mechanic because he switches weapons in the middle of his combo. So overall, man, a pretty interesting looking character. And yeah, they've continued their trend of adding something new and unique with every single character that they've added. So hats off to Iron Galaxy. At the very end of this trailer, though, they also teased the next character. Now, this is a character that we knew was coming, Tusk. So, but however, he's gotten, as with almost every returning character, he's gotten a complete redesign, and he looks more like Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
No, he's Norse now. Sorry, because he always looked like Conan the Barbarian. Now he looks like a Viking. Actually, in fact, I think he is a Viking because
he looks a lot like a Viking, especially since there was a Viking ship in the background.
Yeah, there's a Viking ship right next to him. He looks like, and the sword, overall, Tusk is a Viking now, so that's going to be pretty cool. I'm interested to see what they do next. However, one other really cool thing is that now, with Tusk officially revealed, every revealed character has been known. Every known character has been revealed. So from now on, it's just going to be brand new characters. I mean, they hinted that Gorgon was coming, so that could be a thing, but it's probably going to be the last character. Yeah. So now we're just going to have to. It's going to be new characters, I think, for the rest of the season 3. So that's pretty cool. And overall, man, I want to give them props for their continued support. They're also releasing a graphics overhaul.
I heard about that.
Yeah. They're adding an update that's just gonna add some new shaders and shit like that to the graphics system of the game. But like they've supported this game really well, and they've handled the quote unquote free to play model very well. Like if you count it up, right? Each season of the game has cost about $20.
Yeah.
So now with season 3, you're looking at a $60 purchase. So it's not even like, oh my god, I've paid so much for this game. Now at this point, you pretty much just paid for a full price game, and they've had so much support. They've patched the game. They've improved the online. They've been constantly updating the online. They actually added a really cool system because in tournaments, matches are 2 out of 3, right?
Yeah.
So ranked matches in Killer Instinct are 2 out of 3 as well, which I think is something that a lot more fighting games should adopt. Because in a first to one, anybody can beat anybody. Just period. Anybody can beat anybody in a first to one. Mm-hmm. However, when you make it a best of 3, it improves the odds of you just not. I mean, like there's always going to be those losses that you're not going to be happy about. But it reduces the odds of you just getting randomed out or getting beaten because it gives you more time to adapt, right? And fighting games are about a lot of adaptation. So I definitely applaud Killer Instinct for using that system, and I hope Street Fighter V and Guilty Gear down the line borrow it as well.
Yeah,
so yeah, man,
absolutely.
props to Iron Galaxy. Hats off to them.
Yeah, just good stuff. I'm excited to see Tusk.
Yeah, same here.
You know, maybe they should just go full Conan and just have like someone who's doing like an Arnold Schwarzenegger impression.
Oh my God! No, please no.
Yes.
Please no. Iron Galaxy, I know you listen to this podcast, so
and I know you're listening to me too, and I'm saying yes. Anyway, let's get to our questions of the day. So we got 2 questions of the day. First one from Jay Streets.
As
always. And he's asking, how effective is timed exclusive content at selling a particular system, and if we have any examples that have affected us.
Okay, let me put it this way, right? I'm actually related. It's about as effective as using Earthquake on a flying Pokemon, in my opinion, anyway.
Okay.
In the sense that it's not effective at all. Because for me, I'm like, most of the time, timed exclusive content. I thought you'd like that reference a lot more than you did.
No, I get it. But then I was thinking, does Earthquake actually hit flying Pokemon or not?
No, it doesn't.
But I don't know if it's. You know, you're right. I don't know. I'm just saying it's canon. It's canon. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to leave you hanging there. I
was so excited about that reference, and then I was like, okay.
It's like, you know, you're telling me the joke, and I'm like, wait, does that actually happen? Oh God, that's fucking spectacular. Anyway, what was your point?
But yeah, anyway, to answer the actual question, I don't think it's because here's the thing: if the timed exclusive content actually was top-notch content, then yeah, it would have more of an effect. But because of the nature of the content, it's always half-assed shit. You know, it's like one minor mission here, or like an extra weapon, or an extra weapon skin. In fact, you know, it's irrelevant shit like that.
But even even just like timed exclusives, like the actual games and whatnot, as well, can make a difference.
Well, I mean, because in regards to the question, it has to be exclusive content, right? Because timed exclusive, it's like, well, because he was asking, you know, does it
specifically? So he's more like specifically content, not about like timed exclusive games. Like I'm thinking Rise
and
of
the content has no effect. Has no effect for me. If I owned a PS4 and an Xbox One, right?
Yeah.
And Street Fighter was coming out on both consoles, but the Xbox One version had timed exclusive content, I still buy it on the PS4 because all my friends are on the PS4. Period. Right? It has no effect. Absolutely no effect on my decision. Sure, if it was in a vacuum, right? Yeah. And I didn't have any friends on either console, then I would buy it for the console that I would buy for the console that had the timed exclusive content. But even then, man, like I said, the key issue here is that timed exclusive content is generally shit.
Yeah, a lot of times it's like timing. Well, it's not even that this shit. It's just like it's not really anything spectacular, so it doesn't really make it worth it purchase. And I guess the part of the thing for me personally is that a lot of times timed exclusive is timed. So even though it's like if I really want the content, I know it's gonna come to my console eventually, so it's not like I'm not gonna have it. And I think that's more... I have been more swayed on making decisions with consoles over full exclusives, in which I know that I will never get this game or this content anywhere else than I have with timed exclusive.
Yeah, I mean, full exclusives are what they've always been.
Yeah.
You know, now with the more social aspects, that does tie in. You know, if all my friends have one console, I'm more inclined to buy that console. But yeah, exclusives still sell titles, you know, still sell consoles. But timed exclusive, nah, that shit, nah. Like, I don't care. I genuinely don't care. Especially since I'm not the kind of person that just rushes out and buys stuff anyway, right?
Yeah.
Look at The Witcher 3. Say the DLC came out on the Xbox One before the PS4. It wouldn't matter to me for shit because I haven't bought the DLC almost a year later. So So no, that shit doesn't matter.
I can't really. The only timed exclusive that really bummed me out, it's not even like like just DLC or anything like that. It was just the Rise of the Tomb Raider. That really bummed me out because I was so excited to play the sequel on the PS4, and it was like Xbox One till whenever. That really bummed me out a lot. That's the only one that made me, like, actually affected me personally. But yeah, I'd have to say this. No, most of the time, timed exclusives will not really affect my decision making in buying a particular system. It's more the actual exclusives that make the difference to me. But our next question is also a pretty good one. It's from Lobster Monk, and he asks us, would you rather play a game with no text or no audio?
Oh, easy choice. Text.
I would probably go text as well, because especially for me personally, it's like I love audio in games. Like audio, honestly, video game audio, like the sound effects to the sound design to the music to just everything from a musical perspective, especially, is so important to me in a game. Whereas and also it is very easy to tell a story without words.
Yeah,
like, it's very easy to tell a story without text. It is it is way more difficult to do that with no audio.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like, what's this thing called? If he had said, if it was a choice between dialogue and audio, then that would be a more interesting choice. But even then, it would still be audio because, like, there was no dialogue in Street Fighter 2, and that was one of my favorite games of all time. So
it's interesting to think, like, what would the reverse be? Because there's a lot of games obviously that don't. I can think of lots of examples of games and things not having, text in them, right? Mm-hmm. But I can't think of many that have no audio.
Because audio is so important. Like, Cowboy Bebop is one of my favorite animes of all time. You take the music out of that, and I don't like, and it's just an average anime in my opinion.
Well, a lot of it relies on. And a lot of it relies... It's funny when you say that, because that's a good example of not having text or dialogue. Because there's a lot of scenes in Cowboy Bebop that I think are amazing because there's nobody's talking. The music and just everything from the audio perspective is telling the story more than the actual dialogue is.
So, yeah, like it's Helldivers. I muted Helldivers, one of my favorite games. No dialogue in that game whatsoever. No text.
Well, there is kind of dialogue. Like, if you count like the sergeant guy talking to you every once in a while.
What, Helldivers?
Helldivers, yeah.
Yeah, but no one. I never read that shit. I guess in summary, audio all day.
Yeah, audio. I can only actually think of one example of something that I've watched that has no audio, and it was this like really fucked up horror movie that was on Google for like a couple days for free, and I wouldn't even count it as having not having audio because it was one of these really old style movies that was black and white, and it had the kind of like kind of like sort of like the every like burn and scratch kind of. It's hard to describe the sound, but
I think I get what
you know what I mean by that. And but it was like it was just that kind of sound over these really kind of weird fucked up imagery. So that was kind of interesting, but honestly, no. For me, absolutely, I'd have to have audio in my games. I can sacrifice text.
Just to show you how little that stuff matters, in my opinion, anyway. A lot of my friends import games from Japan in Japanese to play them. Because it's like, so what? I can't read the text. I'm pretty sure I can figure out what's going on.
That would be a different question, and I would say that I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do that
because I was silly enough, and I bought a Japanese import of it was at like a weird geek market thing of a DS game it was like a Death Note DS game. And that was a big mistake because I couldn't understand what the fuck I was supposed to do with the game at all. Because obviously everything's in Japanese, there's very little English, and I was just confused. I guess it didn't really help that apparently the game was already complicated as is. So trying to figure out a complicated game in a language that I don't fully understand
is... I agree with you on that. But no, like... 11 times out of 10, audio over text all day.
Absolutely. But yeah, great questions.
Great questions.
Keep them up. So with that, we'll have to wrap things up. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And if you comment in the comment section, we'll make sure to answer in the next podcast. And as always, this was your host, William Liberty, and
Fawaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And we'll see you guys next time.